Little Mermaid, sung by 10-year-olds.
Okay. Where the hell are you? You're home?
Yeah, I'm working.
Yeah, that was the closing for USR last weekend.
Okay. Cool. Okay. We are live. Go right ahead, Johanna.
Yeah, you're good to go.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Agents of Helm, where each week we moderate a discussion based on a particular member's interests. We also have a weekly, and if you'd like to check that out, that is now live. We talked about the Viper and the Mountain on Game of Thrones. So today I am the moderator, and we're going to talk about space. But first, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I want to introduce the agents. Joe.
Hello, everybody.
Malik.
What up?
And Lorenzo.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Awesome. So I think we're just going to jump right in. And we're going to talk about, first a little bit about what kind of inspired me to bring space to the Agents of Helm, which is Cosmos, which I believe we've all seen a little bit of, right?
Very little.
Very little.
Like very, very little. My fingers are touching. That's how little I've seen of it.
Okay, so we've all seen like an episode or two. This is going to be like the shortest discussion ever. I think I'm probably the person here who's seen the most Cosmos. Basically, the show Cosmos is a show. It's about space. It's about the Earth, and it's hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is an astrophysicist, and I don't know what his title is for the Hayden Planetarium, but yeah. So just wanted to hear from you guys, like general. Well, first of all, has anybody here seen the original with Carl Sagan?
I remember it being on TV, but I never actually watched it.
When did the original
Billions
first
and billions of stars.
When did the original first air?
It was like in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely never saw it. I did see in the second episode of this series, Neil deGrasse Tyson does like a little homage to him, where he talks about like how he met him, and he talks about how he's like one of the godfathers of basically the current generation of astrophysicists that are out there because of like his work with kids and his work in this environment. So yeah, I'll definitely check it out because this show it's really interesting.
Yeah, that part about Carl Sagan actually made me cry because I'm a little wimp. So
Really?
I think there actually have been quite a few moments that Cosmos has made me cry,
Really?
which is, yeah, I think there was one episode about talking about how stars are like photographs from the past because the light travels, it takes a long time for the light to travel from those stars. So what we're seeing is not the star as it is now. It's like a photograph of what it was at the
Are you
time that
guys
the light
familiar
traveled.
with the Voyager?
Oh, explain.
Well, if you guys are familiar with Star Trek, the Borg supposedly was their god or whatever is this thing called V'ger, and V'ger, it turned out, was actually the Voyager, and the Voyager was this mission where they sent out the satellite back in it was like 30 years ago, it was a long time ago. And the satellite was famous because it had this golden record on it, and the record just had like hello, like in like hundreds of different languages, different images of Earth animals like humans and birds and whales, and noises like thunder, and I guess noises also like whale noises and that kind of stuff. It was a 12-inch gold-plated copper phonograph record. And Carl Sagan was one of the guys that sent it out to space. So, and then Star Trek, the movie, it plays off of that by having, I guess, aliens come back to Earth, and it turns out that, I don't know if Voyager, like, became sentient, or, like, aliens found Voyager and basically made it, like, their god, and then, but, Joe, you must know what I'm talking about, kind of, right? Beaker?
No, which Star Trek are you talking about?
I'm talking about the original
The
Star
original?
Trek. Yeah, and so the Borg. I'm gonna say Bjork. The Borg is
Beyond Bjork.
The Borg plays off of the original Star Trek motion picture, the one with the ball-headed girl, and
Yeah.
they go out, and that thing is like destroying stuff, and it turns out the thing that's destroying stuff is actually like the Voyager. But I don't understand exactly if it's the Voyager or if it's like people around the Voyager, whatever. It went out of space. It came back as an alien that was destroying the Earth. You guys did not watch Star Trek, the motion picture?
I did see Star Trek the motion picture, but it's probably the one I least like, and I saw it the least amount of times.
Okay.
Probably twice.
And then later on, Star Trek: The Next Generation, they kind of built off it by having the Borg actually is a reference to that original Star Trek. But my point is, it all started with Carl Sagan sending out this golden record.
Yeah, I mean, Carl Sagan was like an amazing person,
It
and
was like 1978 that he sent it out, I guess.
huh.
Have
I
you
do.
guys heard the Radiolab story about Carl Sagan, and I guess him and his wife, and like the way he proposed to her, like horribly. Really great story. You guys should listen to Radiolab. Their podcast is way better than ours.
Radiolab is quite an excellent podcast. I listened to one particular episode about 5 words after 9/11 that have kind of shaped our foreign policy since then. But I actually started watching a little bit of the original, and like watched it with my husband, and we both found it a little, I think, dated is the way to put it. Definitely Cosmos, the current reimagining, has the special effects are really awesome.
I don't think the special effects are really all that awesome, Johanna. I mean, they're okay, but like, if you just let it play, it's on Fox, right? Is that what it is? If you let it play, because I tried watching it, and so what I did was I just let it play, and then it shows you like the making of the episodes, and they go into great detail about how they make it so that they do the special effects to show what's his name again?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, they show Neil deGrasse Tyson going faster than light or whatever, and they add like the little waves and stuff. It's not like the most awesomest of special effects. By the way, the Radiolab episode is called Space. So if you type in Radiolab Space, much like our episode now is called Space, you will get to hear the story of how Anne Drugan and Carl Sagan had a romance while he was sending out his record player into the skies. Great story.
And Jillian?
No, Anne Duran.
Oh, okay.
So she's the widow of Carl Sagan. And she
Okay.
has a whole love story about him. It's a really great story. They talk about the effects of sending out that little that Voyager probe out.
Okay. So, any other thoughts on the show? Because I think we can move on to movies, since Lorenzo kind of already. Oh yeah, go on.
No, I was gonna say. Well, I mean, I had a couple of thoughts about the show.
Yeah, go ahead.
And being that I have never seen the original, I didn't know anything about the original, so this was completely brand new for me. So one of my first thoughts about it was, really, Fox is doing this? Like, it didn't seem like a Fox show, and it didn't seem like when Joe told me that this show comes on Sunday nights at 9:00, like right after, the animation stuff and all the comedy and everything like that. I was like, okay, that must be that's like the worst time slot ever for a show. I mean, I'm glad that it's on a network show and it's a network-based show, and I would love to have my kids sit down and watch it. But I was like, it just seems like it's a weird place to put a show like this. After you've just given them Simpsons and Family Guy and all of that stuff. The other thing was, so it's executive produced by Seth MacFarlane, who is the creator of Family Guy and
American Dad,
and he did Ted, and he's just got this other movie that's coming out this summer, or it may already be out, 1,000 Ways to Die in the West, or 1,000,000 Ways to Die in the West, or whatever it's called. And so it's interesting because I see his name attached to it as Cosmos is coming on, and throughout the entire show, and it was, like I said, probably because I had never seen it before, so I wasn't entirely sure what I was watching right away. So throughout the entire show, because Seth MacFarlane's name is attached to it, I'm almost expecting some kind of a joke. Like, I'm expecting, like, Peter Griffin to kind of appear somewhere in space or something like that and, like, laugh. I mean, I'm expecting the punchline to come at some point in time, and it never does, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that's really interesting. It's kind of like, I don't know if you know, it's kind of like that having a friend. I don't know if you guys have ever had, like, a friend who is, like, always joking, always laughing, and then for whatever reason they tell you a serious story, and you're just not entirely ready to, you don't see them in that light. So I have a couple of friends like that, so it was kind of like that same feeling where I was sitting there watching, and I was like, "Oh, this is really good. I wonder when the joke is coming." And it never did. My other thing is, Neil deGrasse Tyson, dude, where were you during my freaking science classes in high school? Because, dude, he's got the Morgan Freeman down pat. Like, he's got the Morgan Freeman, documentary telling voice down pat. He's like even keeled. He goes up, he goes down. Like, it's perfectly toned. He perfectly brings you through it and makes you want to watch and keep watching and see what's going on. And so I'm like into the second episode right now. I've been watching it, and I'm into the all the stuff about like the animals and genetic mutations and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, I would have passed bio the first time around if I had this guy teaching me. Because seriously, not for nothing. If you're listening, I love you, Miss Gruber. You were great, but you were no Neil deGrasse Tyson. And if you watch this show, you will realize exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, I know Lorenzo said it's not the best sci-fi or CGI ever, but I mean, for a network show, I mean, it definitely held its own, and it's definitely well shot.
Battlestar Galactica is a network show, isn't it?
Not technically. Well, it's a cable show. Battlestar Galactica is a cable show. So this would be on network television. So Fox, ABC, NBC.
What cable channel is Battlestar Galactica on?
I don't remember. Was it Sci-Fi?
I think Sci-Fi. It was Sci-Fi. Yeah.
I've only watched.
That's a worse budget than network TV. Sci-Fi is the ones that did Sharknado.
Yeah.
Come on. You saw the special effects of Sharknado.
They used to be kind of a serious sci-fi channel, and they have slowly. There's been a decay.
Well, effects cost money. Effects are very expensive.
Well, I think with Sci-Fi, they realized they were pumping a lot of money into shows that nobody was watching, and then they started making these crappy movies, and people started watching them, and so they were like,
Sharknado.
Let's just keep doing it.
Malik. You have.
I've never seen Sharknado. I don't watch that. I don't watch the Sharktopus.
It was the best. It was the best, stupidest movie you'll ever see. Sharknado.
I can't watch that stuff. But to me, Cosmos I like it. I plan on going back, and I plan on sitting down with my daughter and her watching it with me, because I think that it's a really good show to teach you about things that you may never have thought, to question. And it's one of those. It's definitely one of those shows where you sit back and you realize how absolutely small and minuscule you are, and how you're a speck in the great scheme of things. And so it has its way of making you feel like this big. So all the great things you might have done in your life, and you're like kind of like, oh yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm like the last 9 seconds in the in the galaxy calendar or something like that. And I was like, wow, yeah, thanks for that. Thanks. Yeah, my years on this planet have been relatively wasted. Okay, cool. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, but it was good. I do enjoy it, and I can't wait to. I'll keep watching it.
It's actually interesting that you brought up Seth MacFarlane because apparently he's the one. The show was at first it was conceptualized as a show for National Geographic, and Seth MacFarlane is the one who stepped in and was like, no, this needs to be on network television. It needs to reach a wider audience, which totally changes my perspective on Seth MacFarlane. And also, yes, I watch the show with my 2-year-old daughter, and she asks for it on Sundays. She says, Cosmos, Cosmos. So I think it's very valuable for kids. I mean, she obviously doesn't get the astronomical concepts, but she likes the imagery, and we talk about stars and comets with her. So, Joe?
Yep. So I watched the first episode. Yeah, I thought it was good. I'll probably continue to watch it at some point. I find that kind of stuff interesting. Yeah, the effects are so-so, but it's you're not really watching it for the effects. You're watching it for the information that comes from it. But yeah, I think I'll probably continue watching it. It's good. It's fun. Is somebody under arrest? You guys all right? Is Neil deGrasse coming?
Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. East Harlem is on fire tonight, I guess.
I think my thing is like that. I just know it already. So I don't know. I haven't watched all the episodes, but it just seems like a lot of it is and it's I guess it's because he's starting off, right? But a lot of it just seems like stuff that's been covered already. So I haven't really gotten to the point where I'm seeing anything that's just like, oh, I didn't know that, And I don't think I'm like in a particularly like smart person or anything. I just haven't seen anything that like he hasn't shown me anything new yet. So I don't know. I've seen like the first 3 or 4 maybe episodes. So maybe I just need to keep going.
I had my holy crap moment during the second episode when they were talking about the polar bears. I was like, hold up, that's why they're white? Okay. I was like, this is how dumb I am about these things.
Tell me about it, Malik. Tell me about the polar bears.
So, it's basically that, when the polar ice caps were much larger than they are now, they extended from, the North Pole, where the North Pole is now, all the way down to where California is. So, during that time, these brown bears lived basically on the polar ice caps, and through genetic mutation, through natural selection and genetic mutations over the course of years, in order to aid them in their hunting techniques in icy weather, at some point in time, a brown bear gave birth to 2 cubs, a brown cub and a white cub. And the white cub was, because of the white fur, was able to blend into the ice and be detected be able to not be detected by its prey, so therefore became a much better hunter than the brown bear. And over time, the brown bear lost out in the I guess evolutionary battle between their species. And that's why polar bears live in that section of the area, and that's why we have mostly brown bears, like in inland. And the idea is that if the polar ice caps were to melt, as they are melting, when the eventual polar ice caps melt, that polar bears would soon after become extinct and be replaced by brown bears in those areas where they currently are existing, because of another mutation will happen to, I guess, so that the bears can get assimilated with their new environment. So It was. I mean, it was one of those things where it was kind of like, you grow up and you kind of know the white bears are up at the North Pole, and that's kind of where they are. And just one white bear was just born one day, and that was it. So, just the kind of knowledge that all this stuff kind of feeds into one another, and like all the things that, and there's one part where he mentions all the things that humans are genetically connected to, like all these other animals and organisms and stuff that have nothing, that have no, you would never have believed it had he not said it. So like the butterfly, like mushrooms, like trees, like, we're like so, intricately connected to all of those things, and it's like one flick of a DNA, of a DNA switch here that determines whether you're a mushroom or a human being. It's like crazy.
Now,
So,
Malik, have you been to the Natural History Museum?
not in some time. I will say I have been to the Museum of Natural History. I used to go every year, but I did not go. I hadn't been into the planetarium in some time, because it wasn't. It's not part of your general fee. And the couple times that I had been there, either it was closed for whatever reason, or like there was an exhibit going on and we missed the exhibit, and like we didn't want to wait until the next exhibit opened up, so just never wound up going in. I do plan on going back very soon, once my son can get over the fear of stuffed animals. Yeah, because he's not going to be happy to see it. Like,
It's a big one.
yeah, he's not going to be happy when I already know when he walks into the room with the big blue whale. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be the end of the trip for him. So, so when he's able to get past that, then we'll definitely go back, because he's interested in this stuff. We watch Planet Earth, pretty regularly in this house. I love it, and every once in a while I try to buy another one of those like nature Blu-rays or DVDs or whatever, and we sit down and watch them as a family. So it is interesting to me, but and it just, I think, spend so much time thinking about like what you have to do on a daily basis and what you have to do in your own life. You don't take time to pay attention to like everything that's been going on around you, and it does take some kind of effort, and I just haven't been able to put in that effort over the course of years. And now shows like this have made me kind of say, hey, let's take a step back and start doing that. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I go there not too often, but I do, and they do have like in their dinosaur hall of dinosaurs or whatever, they have like this sort of pathway that you can take, and it shows you all the different pathways that lead up to humans, and how these different dinosaurs and different animals, they break off, whether an egg is waterproof or whether it's not waterproof, whether the hip bone is here, whether the hip bone is there, whether we have this hole in our skull here, whether we have the hole in our skull. It just makes like this whole big tree that just keeps breaking off in those little parts. Yeah, and then the other thing that's there at the museum is you don't even have to go into the planetarium, but on the way out of the planetarium, there's a ramp, a spiral ramp coming down from the planetarium. And it's real fun to walk up that. Like I said, you don't have to actually go into it. You can just start from the exit and work your way up. And it does show you that, like, all of human history is just like the width of a hair. And and this is on this giant ramp, this spiraling ramp that goes all the way from like the first floor up to like wherever the what's it called, the Hay Planetarium. It's on like the third floor. So it's like, it's like 30 feet spiraling up, and we are just like a one width of hair on that whole history of the universe. Yeah, basically all this stuff so far that I've seen on that show is in the museum. I haven't seen anything really too surprising.
I think both are supplemental to each other. I don't think one particular the show or the museum, I don't think they're meant to supplant each other. I do think that the TV show is obviously, I mean, we're very lucky, right? We live in New York. We have access to the Museum of Natural History, but a lot of people don't. And so I think the show is very, very valuable to them, because the cosmic calendar is very much, you're right, the equivalent to that spiral that leads up to the planetarium. and that's a very physical, kinesthetic way of understanding that concept. But I mean, not everyone can visit the museum, so I think that the show suits it.
Can we just take a moment to laugh at those people?
No.
No?
Moving on. So, any final thoughts on Cosmos?
I just wish Neil was my uncle. Like
Uncle Neil?
Uncle Neil. I want that
Your
to be
uncle
Uncle
too,
Neil. I would just
more
sit down. I would just sit down with him like on Thanksgiving and just like, yo, dude, tell me about the cosmos. Let's do it. Let's just have this. Let's hash it out. Let's have this conversation. And let's have this talk.
You're like, Malik, let me take you on this journey.
Yeah.
The journey through the stars.
I almost want to be like when he explained that whole situation of how he met what's this gentleman's name, the gentleman who made the first one. Yes.
Carl Sagan.
How he met Carl Sagan. I was like, damn it. If I wasn't in my 30s, it would look kind of weird if I wrote to him now. I was like, but it's like, yeah, it could happen. So yes, that's my final thought on it. Like Neil, like I'm gonna go on Ancestry.com and see if we're related somehow. So I can give you a call.
Awesome. How about you guys, Lorenzo, Joe?
No, I think you guys said it all.
Right. I'm actually going to see Neil deGrasse Tyson tomorrow, which is another reason why I wanted to talk about cosmos and space on this show. He's doing a live broadcast of Star Talk, his radio show. So I'm pretty excited to see and hear such an amazing just presence, personality, in person.
Where is that, Johanna?
When is that happening?
Where?
Oh, it's happening at the Beacon Theater, I believe.
All right. Yeah. So your task, if you choose to accept it, Johanna, is if you get a chance to shake his hand and meet him one-on-one, you have to let him know that you have to let him know about the podcast, and you have to let him know that you spoke about the podcast and point him to this episode, and then you have to give him my number and tell him to give me a text, and he and I need to catch up. Because clearly, I need to pick his brain on some things.
I definitely intend to say many things to him. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have a little crush on him, so I might just be catching my breath if I ever were to meet him in person. It's just that brain. It's full of so many things.
Yeah, Uncle Neil, man. That's not cool. you're a married woman. You can't be crushing on my Uncle Neil. Come on.
Well, I
can see on his show he's married. I can see the ring when he's on the show. He's married. You're married. Let's not do this. It's my
all. Well, my husband is defending my honor. He'll be there. So, he'll make sure things don't get too far. Alrighty.
No molecules touching. That's it.
No. Just air whatever. Obviously, like I'm the person who needs cosmos in their life because I'm not sure how molecules work. Air, breath, molecules. Like, what is that?
Awesome. Have a great time.
Thank you, guys. So, let's move on to something a little lighter. I feel like this is definitely going to be an area of much discussion. Favorite space movies. Who wants to go first? Lorenzo?
Are we talking like the favorite space movie ever?
Like your favorite, I guess.
Yeah.
My favorite space movie ever. That's the question?
Yes.
The one space movie? Like I would have to pick amongst all my favorite space movies. It'd be the one space movie. I don't think I can do that, Johanna. You're asking me a really, really hard question. I mean, you have Star Wars is like the holy grail to me. It's like ingrained in my being.
In your being.
And then and then also like I am a huge fan of Space Odyssey, 2001. my favorite movies. Man, I'm gonna pass for now, and I'm gonna listen to what everybody else says, and then I'm gonna make fun of them.
Awesome. All right, let's go, Joe.
Oh, my favorite. I mean, it's easy. It's Star Wars Episode 4, right?
Yes.
It's my favorite one. Favorite. Okay. Followed by Spaceballs, right?
Spaceballs.
That's a joke, but I do love Spaceballs. And I just love the homage when he says, I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate. What does that make us? Absolutely nothing. That's come on. It's awesome stuff. But Star Wars, definitely Star Wars Episode 4.
All right, Malik.
Aliens, actually.
Mhm.
Aliens, not Alien. Alien.
Alien. Now, to be honest, Alien, the original, is still on my list of one of the most creepiest, scariest movies I've ever seen. Like it definitely is on that level. But as far as just being an all-out, great movie, well acted, the abyss of space, the action, the introduction of Ripley as the badass that that we all know her to be. Aliens is everything to me. It's everything that a sci-fi movie should be, and unfortunately, I tend to compare everything to that. And nothing ever, especially in that genre, and nothing ever lives up to it, in my opinion. I do love the Star Wars stuff. As a matter of fact, my favorite Star Wars movie is actually The Empire Strikes Back, just because.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the bad guys winning every once in a while. So when The Empire Strikes Back happens, I kind of like that movie. I like that movie a lot. And so my other honorable mentions would be Starship Troopers. The original Starship Troopers. As a kid, I watched that. As a young guy, I watched that movie a lot, and I loved it. And then the action sequences were great. And most recently, Serenity. Serenity was to me, which was based on the Firefly television show of Joss Whedon. That movie was really, really good, in my opinion.
Did the movie actually end? Does that show have an ending anywhere, somewhere?
It actually continues in comic books. I found out today.
So that's a no, then, right?
The story.
Yeah, but
continues.
it's only Captain Mal, and isn't it just? It's not the whole crew, because Wash dies, and the other guy dies, right? Ron Glass. I forget what's the actor's name. I can't remember his character in Firefly.
Who's the mercenary kind of guy on the crew?
Jane.
Jane. He at the end of the television show, he like totally betrays them, right?
At the television, no. I mean, he's there in the movie as well, and he's part of the crew. I don't remember him betraying in the last episode of the TV series.
Yeah, he does. And they just kind of end it. They end the series. Yeah, the series ends very abruptly, and it ends with him. And I thought that the movie was like. I thought the TV show is based on the movie.
No, the movie was
the exact opposite.
Because the TV show, you guys, are you familiar? Have you watched this recently? The TV show, it ends with him betraying them. Like
no, what's the last episode you saw of Firefly?
The last episode there was.
Okay, what happened in that episode?
It ends on a cliffhanger, where they're betrayed by what's his face?
No, was it the last episode where they're all like kind of where that guy comes and he tries to infiltrate the ship? Oh man, I can't remember
the guy's name. Pilot?
No, they get infiltrated by this guy who's trying to capture them.
But he's not just another scavenger guy that holds them up?
No, it's not a scavenger. Or a Reaver, rather.
No, not a Reaver, not a scavenger.
Yeah, it's not a scavenger.
It's like the way they're scavengers, the way they go and they will find a ship and they'll empty it out. I mean,
it wasn't a scavenger. He was somebody that was specifically hunting. For them.
He was a bounty hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
specifically looking for them, and I believe that's what I thought that was the final episode, but they end up getting away from him. Um, they end up winning somehow, but the whole thing is like flashbacks to like I can't remember because doesn't he drug the whole ship? Tries to knock him out or something. I can't
Yeah, he
remember.
almost dies. He ends up, yeah, that's the one where he's not hunting them. He just happens to come across them when they're like down, and he ends up like coming aboard their ship and taking it over. But then they end up killing him. It's a whole thing. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I don't remember Jane betraying them in that episode. I haven't watched it in a long time.
he betrays them in the episode before that one.
Right, but I
My
believe there
point
was a
is,
reason why he betrayed them.
the show did not really end at all. Is what I was saying.
Well, they never got a chance to give it a proper ending because Fox canceled it.
Fox canceled it, and they wanted to bring it back. Actually, Joss Whedon wanted to bring it back, and we're hoping that they would have brought it back. And it was all kind of talk, especially after Serenity came out and did really well, both in the box office and in DVD sales, and became like a cult. Had like a cult following for a long time, and Fox had considered bringing it back, and then I can't remember where they went from there. I think maybe Joss Whedon probably started moving on to other projects and lost it. But I have actually heard him talk about, the possibility of even going back and doing it again, just because he loved this was his baby, and so he loved it that much he would do it again. Even though he's knee deep in Marvel and everything Marvel is included. So we'll see. But I mean, I definitely thought that Serenity. I hadn't seen any of Firefly on the day that I went and saw Serenity. Somebody dragged me to it, and I fell in love with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I fell in love with the movie, and then I went back and saw all the episodes of Firefly.
No, I had seen all of Firefly, way before I had seen the movie.
Because Serenity ends in Firefly ends in like '02, and like Serenity doesn't come out till like '05, '06, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was 05. 05,
Yeah.
September of 05.
Yeah.
Yeah, Serenity, and because they had canceled it, and then through word of mouth, people kept talking about it. Then I just rented them from Netflix. I watched it, and I was like, oh, cool. I really enjoyed it. And then in 05, the movie came out.
Yeah, I mean, even people who I knew weren't into like sci-fi were really into that film. Like it was just like a widespread sort of appeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, word of mouth definitely got around. But Aliens for me, number one, Aliens.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about it also while you guys have been talking, and Empire Strikes Back is definitely one of them. I don't know, Malik, if you've ever, I'm sure you've watched Clerks.
Yep.
There's a whole monologue about why The Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie, because it ends the way life is.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that scene. Yes. Now you're going to make me go back and watch that again.
Can't believe you brought up Clerks.
Any excuse to watch Clerks, man. Clerks is one of my favorite films. So
The response or was it Return of the Jedi is the one where they're working on the ship, and so it's a bunch of construction workers that get blown up on that one. Whereas when it was fully operational, it was like pretty much just baddies.
Oh yes, they did talk about whether the contractors on the Death Star, whether it was justifiable that they also die or if they were innocent. And they actually end up talking to a contractor about it.
And the contractor, he was saying that he did know, right, what was going on, that you do kind of know, and sometimes you pass on those jobs.
Yeah, he said he passed on a job I can't believe this. This shows just how many times I've seen this film. That he passed on this job where he was going to roof some mobsters, tile some mobsters' roof or something.
And then somebody else did it, and they ended up dying, right?
Yeah. So it all came full circle, and then Return of the Jedi is just about some fucking Ewoks, according to Randall.
Yeah.
So. So, but I have to. I like my space movies. I don't know, contemplative and depressing. So I think I'm gonna go with Moon on this one.
Oh, with Sam Rockwell?
With Sam Rockwell.
Good movie.
It was just very. Oh, and by the way, David Bowie's son directed it. But it just something about it just kind of sticks with you. And I guess I've always liked space movies about like that lone person in space and how they deal with it, what happens to them. I would also say Europa Report is one of my favorites. I thought it was way better than Gravity. It's about it's on Netflix, and it's about these astronauts that go on a mission to Europa to see if there's life on it, and it reminds me of the Blair Witch Project a little in terms of the fact that it's really creepy and scary, but you never see the thing or the circumstance. And there's all sorts of other spacey things going on. So yeah, those would be like two of my favorites.
So much Gravity hate on this show.
I watched Gravity just 2 days ago.
What did you think?
Well, I mean, I've seen it before. I'm just saying I watched it again. Just
Okie doke.
And no, I like it. C.L. Lewis, C.K. Lewis has this really funny skit he does about it, where in the movie Sandra Bullock is kind of reluctantly an astronaut, and he makes the point that there are no reluctant astronauts. When you go to the astronaut hiring guy who's just like, so tell me about why you want to be an astronaut, and you're like, well, the truth is. He's like, get the fuck out of here. There are 100 people behind you that want to be an astronaut. 'Cause I thought that was... So when I watched that again, I realized that, yeah, that is kind of funny because she is sort of she's not all that excited to be out there in space.
Well, she's not an astronaut, right? That's the whole point. Her character is not actually an astronaut. She's up there because of her
and that's
expertise.
Lewis's point, is that they probably wouldn't have her out there at all. She wasn't really stoked to be out there at all. And I know she's working on some sort of thing that is her thing to do, but I think in reality they could probably find somebody that both wanted to be in space and could do her job. I'm just guessing. But no, I did like the movie. I had watching it again though, we just want to take a quick little I'm curious if you guys have any knowledge about this. You've all seen the movie, obviously. The whole premise is that the Russians blow up a satellite, and then somehow, I mean, the one thing that I think we've all learned from watching space stuff, like the Cosmos included, is that space is very big. So, I mean, it seems really unlikely that by blowing up a satellite somewhere over there, you're going to cause this chain reaction of a bunch of different satellites getting hit, and then finally this big massive shrapnel come flying through and hit this final target. And then I think some of the other spaceships were also damaged by the whole accident or whatever it was. To me, it seems not real. I mean, does anybody have a difference of opinion on that?
I don't know enough about the Earth's rotation and the atmosphere surrounding. I mean, in the movie they said that it got stuck in the rotation, so it was just circling around the Earth, and I don't know, what was it like?
One rotation though, Joe. There's
it was going around and around the Earth.
Right, but that's a lot of space. Just imagine if
you break out of the gravitational pull, I guess.
Imagine if you had a little... Okay, so the satellite, the space shuttle that they're on is maybe the size of, your apartment, your house, maybe a little bit bigger. And then, so your house is where where are you, Joe? I always forget.
I'm in Westchester.
Westchester, right? And now there is a big explosion over in my building over here in Brooklyn. The odds are that none of the shrapnel from my building is going to come anywhere near your building over there in Westchester. Now, space is way, 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 way bigger than New York area. And it seems really unlikely that anything that happens to me over here in Brooklyn is going to affect you over there in Westchester. So much less likely that something happens anywhere in space is going to affect anything else anywhere else in space.
Yeah, but I think George Clooney explained it. It was something to do with the pull and the rotation causing the shrapnel to just circulate around the Earth, and it was going to come back like every 90 minutes based on the speed that it was traveling or something like that. I mean, I don't know if the physics on it are right because I couldn't tell you, but at least that's what happened in the movie.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was just George Clooney trying to explain away why. I think he was just trying to come up with a reason and be like, all right, I think she's getting a little too close to me. She's probably gonna want to start dating when we get back down to Earth. So let me come up with this kind of idea.
Science-y mumbo jumbo.
Let me just get disconnected from this chick and then because I personally don't believe that he died. I just think we never see George Clooney again. I'm pretty sure he's like sipping a Mai Tai somewhere. He's just like. You know, he was good. He got back down to Earth. He was okay. He was perfectly fine. He was just like, man, I had to cut out on this chick. She was kind of depressing, you know. Like,
okay, so like Joe, say the Incredible Hulk, like picks up your entire house, right, and lifts it up in the air, or your building. Say he grabs your building, lifts it up in the air, and then throws it at Brooklyn. What are the possibilities that it's going to come anywhere near me?
well, if it's Hollywood, Lorenzo, it's a very good possibility that it's coming near you. As a matter of fact, it's likely hitting your apartment. If it's not Hollywood, it's probably not hitting anywhere near you. It's probably going to land somewhere in downtown Manhattan. So the reality is, Hollywood told us that this stuff happens, and Alfonso Cuarón showed it to us. And you know, if it doesn't hit, then we don't have gravity, and then it's just Sandra Bullock in space trying to figure out how to get home, and that's just boring. So, you know, we kind of need that. Kind of needed something to kind of scare us a little bit into, you know, why it's just not cool to be up in space and not have to worry about paying bills anymore.
And remember, gravity works different down here on Earth than it does up in space.
So, Lorenzo, I have a question for you.
Well, my point is that space is bigger than New York, Joe. Like, way bigger. Way bigger.
So, in your opinion, what is a more realistic space movie, then? Out of your favorites.
You know, I thought, okay, so I liked Moon too, and I thought it was kind of realistic. I mean, I especially liked how they were making money on the moon. I think we could be making money off the moon right now, just sitting up there and not making any money.
That's right.
Supposedly, we went up there, we got there first. I don't know why we're not generating any income from that. That's one of the reasons why I have my doubts that we really went up there in the first place, because we're America. We go somewhere, we're going to try to make money off of it. That has been our thing throughout our entire history of being a country. We go somewhere, we make it into money. So I don't know if we really went to the moon, because we should be shooting money at ourselves from the moon, just like they were doing in the movie The Moon. And then it also makes sense that, like, you know, if it wasn't Sam Rockwell, it would be Mexicans up there doing it. You know what I mean? Like, a white guy up there on the moon doing this kind of grunt work, not going to happen. It's either going to be clones or Mexicans.
He'd send day laborers. Day laborers on the moon.
The moon laborers. I thought that that movie was pretty realistic to me. I mean, Alien is way more realistic than Aliens, that's for sure. And that movie is hella creepy. Scary. You want to talk about one person being out alone, doing it by themselves out in space, man. Ripley was out there on her own. Not a chance. And she, like, faced off that alien and showed that alien who was boss. So that's another one of my more realistic choices. Unrealistic, though, nobody has mentioned Wrath of Khan. Khan!
How could we forget Khan?
I'm going realistic and saying Armageddon is damn realistic. Okay, we're having if there's a big ass asteroid getting ready to hit this planet, by all means we got to send Bruce Willis and his drilling buddies up there to break the damn asteroid into small pieces so that we can all survive. And
you know what's funny? I was at one of our events. Johanna, me and you we went out of town together. I stayed. You had to leave. That for that for that one event on TV was that movie. What's it called? Armageddon.
Yep.
Oh.
I did not get to see, like, I got up to the part. I mean, I've seen it before, but that was back. That movie came out like over what, like 15 years ago or something.
Like that, yeah.
So yeah, like I was there. I was watching it, and not all of it, but like towards the end. And I got to the part where their drill bit isn't working, and like they're almost out of time, and then I had to go. So I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Bruce Willis kills himself or sacrifices himself. I seem to remember that, but I have no idea why or what or whatever.
You know what's fun? Oh,
go ahead.
You know what's funny is that Neil deGrasse Tyson is actually like a proponent of the fact that that's eventually how we are going to what's the word?
Die? Get extinct? No doubt.
No.
Out there that are like watching out for this kind of stuff.
No, that's how we're going.
Because we need to be making money off the moon, but also because eventually the Earth is going to get blown.
Okay, we're going to make money by mining asteroids, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, I totally agree with Neil. We should be mining asteroids. I agree with that 100%. You guys know that out there in space, there are entire planets. There are entire stars made of diamonds. Diamonds. There are.
No, carbon, I mean, I believe
carbon, compressed carbon, crystallized compressed carbon equals diamonds. And there are these dark stars out there that are just sitting there. Huge diamonds out in space.
You just keep dreaming that dream. Don't stop believing, okay?
Well, Lorenzo, you know that if there's these compressed diamonds,
it's not a dream. It's true.
If there's this compressed carbon and there's diamonds out there, Lorenzo.
What?
You know that the first people that are going to get it are rappers. So rappers are getting it first. It's going to be dudes are going to be wearing chains with little stars hanging from them. That's going to be how dudes are rocking it. And yes, and so mining asteroids, I'm perfectly fine with it. If Uncle Neil says that that's what's going to happen, then that's what's going to happen. That's all to it.
All right.
Fully right.
All right, you guys. There are quite a few space movies coming out this summer and into the rest of the season. The ones that come to mind immediately are Interstellar and Jupiter Ascending, but I think there might be a couple more. Are you guys excited about seeing any particular space movie coming up?
Yeah. I want to see what's the one that comes out this weekend? Edge of Tomorrow? With Tom Cruise.
Oh, with Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That I do want to see.
Well, and I just read something that Jupiter Ascending is actually getting pushed to 2015, so it's not coming out. Yeah, it's actually pushed its release date to February 2015. So it was supposed to come out in July of this year, and it was pushed.
Any reason?
I will look.
That's usually not a good sign when that happens.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's it'd be interesting to see why.
Probably because Channing Tatum didn't want anything coming out around 22 Jump Street.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
He was like, push that back. I need all my 22 Jump Street money. So no.
Push that Alien movie back. How about Lorenzo? I know that you watched that Alien movie with Scarlett Johansson a little while ago, but are you excited about any other space movies coming up?
55 Cancri. It's 40 light years away, somewhere near the constellation of Cancer, a planet made out of diamond. ABC News. I don't make this stuff up.
I believe you.
It's just a hop, skip, and a jump. So wait, I mean, did you guys already talk about the new movie with the guys? What's his name? I really like the trailer. The one that's I mean, it's been out for a while now. But come on, the one with the squirrel with the gun.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was gonna be my choice.
Did you guys talk about Guardians of the Galaxy yet?
We haven't discussed it yet, but that's my choice.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I've heard of it.
The preview again. I mean, I really like what they do with the Walkman and the way they had that song like come out. And I forgot what song is that? Do you guys, Joe? Do you know what song that is?
Oh my god! I know we talked about it before. Now, when you mentioned it, now I can't remember.
'Cause I totally forgot that it starts off with that boom, 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 the thing they do, and then the song comes on. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up and I'll get back to you. But as far as space movies go, that one is definitely a space movie. The one that you brought up, Johanna, is called Under My Skin or something. Under Your Skin.
Yes.
That is not a space movie. That is a very strange Earth movie that might have aliens in it. There's no space in it.
I see.
What I could see, there was no actual
aliens.
space in it. Yeah, but you don't even know for sure that the aliens are from space. You know, like they are just on Earth. You know, you don't know enough about it. Like, there's no shot of them like coming from space to Earth. Like, for example, Brother from Another Planet. They have, I think, on Brother from Another Planet, they have have you guys seen that movie?
No.
Brother from Another Planet? No.
Brother from Another Planet is a great, like, it's sci-fi, like in its what sci-fi is supposed to be. It's a commentary on race. The guy, he's like I guess he's kind of like a slave who escapes from his slavers, and he lands in New York. And he's black, but the reason why he's a slave isn't because he's black. It's because he's got like 3 toes, and like the other guy, the regular aliens have like 4 or 5 toes or whatever. It's from the 80s, and it's set in New York City. So I just love movies that are like set in New York City from the past. It's great seeing that older, more gritty New York. Yeah, Brother from Another Planet. You should check it out. That's a space
Parental's
movie.
recommendation.
But it's not new. It is not a new space movie. So as far as new space movies go, that's the only one that comes to my mind. What else is out there?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that Interstellar. I don't know if anyone saw the trailer for that, but I'm really excited for that one.
It wasn't much of a trailer. I mean, what did they?
It was awesome.
What did they do in the trailer?
It was Christopher Nolan. I don't give a damn. Christopher Nolan could do a movie about mail carriers, and I'm watching. I don't care.
Well, it's at least what I gathered from the trailer, it's about, and it's slightly dystopian. So you guys knew I was gonna pick it. It's about the Earth. Basically, like there's no food on Earth, so they have to go into space. I don't know. The way it was shot was really compelling.
Because there's food there.
I think they say something like, "There's only one option now. It's to go into space."
Ben Affleck is in it?
Oh dear God! Please don't tell me Ben Affleck is in it.
I'm just looking at the trailer right now. It's got Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
It looked like Ben Affleck right there.
No, I'm in denial. No.
There's a big storm coming.
Yes.
So they're gonna plant some vegetables on Mars or something, or they got WalMarts up there. They got some ShopRites. What's up? What do you? I guess I want to know how we're gonna get food from outer space.
Yeah, I don't think I quite understand that concept, but Christopher Nolan, I'm willing to be convinced. And Jupiter Ascending, I don't know, there's something about the way that the effects in that film, it's like too purple. I don't like it.
Jupiter Ascending?
Maybe did Prince make it?
She's going to purify herself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
What about that Halle Berry? It's not a movie, it's a TV show.
Extant?
What's that?
Extant? I'm not sure what it's about.
Extant.
It'll be
space.
It's a summer series, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Well, Jupiter Ascending, I don't know, it kind of has a Fifth Element feel to me. So I'm not sure, and Channing Tatum is the Bruce Willis character, and Mila Kunis is the Lilu character. And so I don't know if it's going to be as fun for me as Fifth Element. I think Fifth Element is a whole boatload of fun. I just love that movie. So I'll watch it. Is it from the Wachowski brothers, or is it from like one of the Wachowski brothers and like a Wachowski sister? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they call themselves the Wachowskis now.
Okay, yeah. So they're just like.
Avoid.
Okay, so they're just like the Wayans. So.
Yes.
Oh, they have like a whole family now?
No, one of the Wachowskis now identifies as a woman. So I think they refer to themselves as the Wachowskis as opposed to the Wachowski brothers. I don't remember like the name that her new name, but I
Lana.
know
Lana. I'm looking
Lana.
at it now. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's actually the brother that's now a woman.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah. She identifies as
Okay.
a woman.
Hey, whatever floats your boat, man. Um, so for me, I was just gonna say there is one movie that for me I'm partially interested in, and it's a space movie, and it's probably because one of my favorite space movies, even though the entire movie takes place on Earth, is as a kid is E.T. I love
Uh-huh.
E.T. I absolutely love
Yeah.
E.T.
Right, but it
and I
shows
thought,
them landing from space. They come from space and they go to space.
what are you talking about? Interstellar?
No, ET. Like
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that.
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, but the majority of the movie, 90% of the movie
No,
takes
yeah, it's on Earth.
place on
Yeah,
Earth.
even when they land, it's on. I
Yeah,
mean, everything's on Earth. Yeah.
they do show space stuff. Whereas that Scarlett Johansson movie, there is no alluding to spaceships or anything.
Huh.
So for me, as a kid, enjoying ET as much as I did, I've seen that movie at least 10 times. I absolutely loved ET. That was where my first love of Drew Barrymore showed up, and it has stayed, consistent throughout her entire life. I
No, no,
swear,
no, no.
Drew.
Malik, I got Drew Barrymore. You can have Tyson DeBrass, whatever his name is.
No, that's my uncle.
No, yeah, you can
That's
have
incest. That's
whatever.
incest.
Cool.
We don't do
No,
that.
no, no. I
We
got
don't do that.
no. She's
That's,
mine. Drew is my girl.
See, Lorenzo, it's okay. It's okay. You can have her after I've been with her. It's perfectly fine.
No, 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 no.
Perfectly fine.
No sloppy seconds on Drew Barrymore.
Oh my goodness.
Drew Barrymore. Me and her are never breaking up, so you don't get anything after. You and Neil can hang out and talk about whatever. You talk about space with Neil.
Well, I say all of this to say that my feeling for E.T., I'm hoping that the movie coming out called Earth to Echo is a similar movie for the children of 2014. So
That
I plan on taking my daughter to see that movie and hoping that movie has the same impact for her as E.T. did for me. Because she's seen E.T. and it has no effect on her
Yeah.
whatsoever. And, she's just like, it's a guy in a suit, Dad. Like, what are you, so she's completely not, not blown away by this movie. And I loved it. So I hope that Earth to Echo, which is a kid's movie, and it's pretty much the same premise as E.T., about an alien that's landed on Earth and he needs help and he's, I guess, trying to get back home. And these kids that find him through messages on they get messages on their cell phones and they're able to find him through that method. And he's like this really technological being. He's really small and he's cute and all that stuff. So, I'm hoping that movie is for kids in 2014 what E.T. was for me. So I am looking forward to Earth to Echo. Slightly. I'm slightly looking forward to it. I mean, I know I can be disappointed by it, but I'll definitely be checking for that this summer.
So I mean, it looks like one of those movies though that's like Blair Witch Project. There's a space movie I forgot. I started watching on Netflix too, where I forget
8mm. It reminds you of not 8mm.
You're talking about
I
I
think
know
that
what you're-
it's all like camcorders, you know.
Oh, Cloverfield.
No, Cloverfield is the alien attacks New York.
But I mean, the way it's shot, it looks like it's all shot by like the kids.
It's a
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
I don't remember the name.
Super 8. Super 8.
Super 8.
Right, but my point is the way it's shot, it looks like it's all like handheld. Like the kids are doing all the filming. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
They were.
I don't necessarily like that at all.
Well, I mean, it's the wave of the times. So it's probably, I mean, and I'm sure that they could have done it a different way. I'm like I said, I'm more interested in seeing it just to see how for kids. It's like E.T. for me is like my introduction to space, and as a kid, it's my introduction to space and like aliens and all of that stuff. And so probably now, generation before this most recent kids generation, you had like Wall-E or something like that, which was for kids, and which was a similar type of situation. So now we have Earth to Echo. So it seems like every generation gets that one movie that kind of explains you know, that hey, we're not alone on this planet, and so you know, it's to me, this is going to be, I think at the very least, it's going to be a interesting movie for kids, and so I would be interested to see how it does, and I'll watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. I just watched the trailer right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, it looks like a little robot or something.
Yeah,
Right?
he's like a little robot, little tiny robot, you know, most
Control like
likely.
machineries and stuff. Like it showed him like ripping apart a semi and then putting it together somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have his bobblehead on my desk soon.
Awesome. We're going to leave the world of space movies and we're going to do a little lightning round of space scenario time. So, first off, you are in space and you are trapped and you don't know how you're going to get out. So, you get to pick one of the following people to help you out. We've got Han Solo. We've got Jim Lovell from Apollo 13. We've got Matt Kowalski from Gravity and Ripley from Aliens. Who do you pick, Joe?
I'm going with Han Solo. Han Solo's a smuggler. He knows how to get in and out of places. He knows how to get places that nobody knows how to get to. So, I mean, getting to Earth is no big task. And you know, he's got the Millennium Falcon. Did the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs, so I know I'm going to get there quickly and have another built-in bodyguard.
It's not a measurement of time, Joe. You know that, right?
What is it a measurement of?
Measurement of distance.
Yeah, so he did it in 12 parsecs. It's fast.
Not a
fast.
measurement of time.
It's all right. We're going to get there fast.
Parsecs and time have nothing to do with each other.
Considering that's a made-up thing.
Parsec is a real thing, Joe.
I know you're down with the astrophysicist stuff now. So you can explain it to me another time, but it doesn't matter. He says it in the movie. The ship is fast, so it's fast. I'm gonna take his word for it, and I get Chewbacca, so
Yeah,
I'm good to go.
I agree with Joe. If you get the Millennium Falcon and Chewbacca, you gotta go Han Solo. I mean, you get the most bang for your buck. Plus, think about it. You're getting Indiana Jones. You're getting the President. You're getting Decker from Blade Runner. Yeah, you gotta go with Han, man.
Yes, I know that there are certain choices that are better than the others. It's kind of weighted towards one or two characters, but you know.
Well, I am actually, so Johanna, I am going to go off the grain here, and I'm going to say that I am fully convinced that Chewbacca smells like ass, and I do not want to be sitting next to him on a plane for 12 parsecs or 15 seconds or anything like that. Chewbacca scent will likely keep me off of the Millennium Falcon. Plus, given the fact that before he decides to turn good for the good of the galaxy, if I ain't got enough money to pay Han Solo to get on his plane and go to take me to Earth, he's probably just not gonna. He's not even gonna bother with me. So, and I also thought about Ripley, but then I thought to myself, well, no one unless Ripley doesn't really. She's not really looking out for my best interest. She's kind of like just trying to get off of this planet and kill all the aliens if possible. So she's probably just kind of going to tell me what I need to do and then start running, and then I got to run and follow her. So I'm fully convinced that I'm going to die trying to trust Ripley to get me back to Earth. She'll probably get back to Earth. She'll most likely get back to Earth, but I won't. I definitely won't. I'll trip or something like that. I'll be like, Ripley, come and get me, and she'll be like, yeah, you're not Newt, so, you're a 30-year-old man, so you can take care of yourself. Newt's a kid, so I got to take care of her. You figure your shit out. So I'm not taking Ripley. So I'm actually going to take Matt Kowalski. And the reasons why are, number one, I'm not a female. So he and I, we can hang out. He ain't got to worry about me trying to get too close to him. He ain't got to worry about me trying to marry him or anything like that. We can hang out. So he don't need to disconnect from me at any point in time. Like I said earlier when we had our gravity discussion, I am fully convinced that he cut the cord with her annoying ass, specifically because he was like, I'm going home, you go and figure your crap out and see if you can get down, and I will see you on the flip side.
He's hardly getting home. He's floating off in outer space.
Look, Lorenzo, I completely believe that like he had an escape pod somewhere on some station. There was like this escape pod, and he was just kind of like, all right, you stay there, and I'm just gonna kind of go over this way, and
They
I'm just
moved in
gonna
a whole new
float.
light.
I'm just gonna float over here, and I'm gonna go. And if you make it, more power to you. So I'm fully convinced that, if it was the three of us up there, he'd let her go just like that, and we'd be perfectly fine letting her go. If she can go figure it out on her own, and he and I would go find our place. And plus, and the other thing is, he makes it seem so damn normal. Like everything was so like he never got. That was one thing about it. Like he never got scared at any point. It was like you never had any worries about the guy. Like he was never like, oh crap. Like yeah, this is really messed up. He was kind of like, oh, it broke. So yeah, just kind of grab onto this and shoot your way back towards me, and we'll be okay. It's like he makes it seem like it was so great, even though we're definitely going to die up here. There is no question about it. But you make it seem like there's a chance or there's a possibility, or at least dying is just not that bad. So I'm staying with Matt Kowalski because I think we're gonna make it. We don't have to worry about Sandra Bullock. She's gonna be too annoying. I think we're getting down there, and even if we don't get down there, he's gonna make death seem really, really interesting and really cool, and like it's not that bad, and you won't have bills anymore, you won't have to pay taxes or child support or anything along those lines. You're good, you're fine. Enjoy, just looking at like the sunset or whatever as we float off into nothingness. So I'm going with Matt Kowalski.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, although I'm thinking whether as a female I should be picking him at all now.
Yeah, you should steer clear of Matt. As a female, steer clear of Matt.
So
clearly he's sexist, okay?
So I'm going to go with Jim Lovell then, because what I would need in space is someone who is calm and is going to try to calm me down because I'd be freaking out. And Ripley's a little intense. And Han Solo would make me very nervous because 80s Harrison Ford was pretty cute. And Matt Kowalski, well, we can't pick him. So Jim Lovell. Jim Lovell has all of this experience with space, and he would be very calm, and maybe he'd freak out a little, but that would just make him human, and it would be okay because he was able to pilot the Apollo 13 back to the world, even though.
You're talking about Tom Hanks?
Yes, I'm talking about Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Yeah, shouldn't you actually be picking in this scenario when it has to do with Apollo 13? Shouldn't it be Ken Mattingly? He's the one that actually figured out how to put all the stuff together, right?
Okay,
so
I'll
they
pick
could
him.
they could get rid of so they could lower the CO2 levels, if I remember correctly, right? He's the one that figured out using the materials that they actually had on the ship, or on the ship.
Was that Bill Paxton?
No, Bill Paxton, Tom Hanks, and Kevin Bacon were on the aircraft.
Which one was Mattingly? Oh, was that Gary Sinise?
Gary Sinise, yeah.
Okay, yes, him.
Yeah, he was the one that actually stood behind. He stayed behind
because
because
he had chicken pox.
Yeah,
okay,
he couldn't
I'm
go.
picking him. I love Gary Sinise. He's awesome. So.
He's the one that actually came up with everything. He saved their lives, and he wasn't even on the ship.
You're right. No, now that I remembered it wrong. You're absolutely right. Gary Sinise it is.
And you have Bill Paxton was in Apollo 13, and obviously he was in Aliens. Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, I can't. I for my own sake, I can't rock with Gary Sinise. Something about him just screams out supervillain to me. Can't rock with him. Sorry. something about his face looks bad. No, he doesn't play a supervillain, but something about his face just looks bad.
No, I agree with you. Gary Sinise, he's the guy from.
Gary Sinise is Lieutenant Dan. Come on.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
He does look. No, yeah, that's who I thought it was, and he does look like an arch villain. He's not an arch villain anywhere.
No,
he should be an arch villain.
He has been a bad guy in some films, and every time I see him in films, it's the exact reason why I've never watched CSI New York, because I cannot see him be a cop and like take down the bad guys. He's got to be crooked.
Yeah,
he was in Mission to Mars. Huh.
It's so funny because I have such a different view of him just because he gives a lot of money to veterans and he's constantly doing fundraisers for veterans. And actually, my older brother, who's a veteran, got to meet him because, Gary Sinise was doing some event again for veterans. Although, if you take that whole context out of the way, his face is slightly villainy. I do agree.
Go look at his IMDb. Go look at his picture on IMDb. It just screams out, "I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to like it." That's what it's.
He's the bad guy. He's the bad guy from Reindeer Games, right?
Yeah, he's the one that tries to help. Yeah, him and Charlize Theron cook up that plan, and he's also the bad guy, I believe, in Ransom with Mel Gibson.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe he was the bad guy there too.
What about Snake Eyes?
He was the bad guy in Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
With Nicolas Cage.
Yes, he was a bad guy in Snake Eyes as well. See, he does well.
He was in Of Mice and Men. Sorry. Random.
He's the guy that killed the fat dude in Mice and Men.
Yeah, he had to. He had to kill John Malkovich because, otherwise, let's not get into the literary analysis of
Of Mice and Men, yes.
Okay. He kind of looks like a villain, I guess, in that picture. Anyway, let's talk food, all right? We've all seen the freeze-dried ice cream and ice cream sandwiches anytime you go to any sort of air and space museum. But what food would you guys want freeze-dried if you were going to go on a space journey? And let's start with Malik.
This is gonna be tough, but I gotta go with a freeze-dried Philly cheesesteak.
Nice.
At some point in time while we are on this trip, I don't know how long we're gonna be out here, but I'm going to need Philly cheesesteak, the steak, the bread, the provolone cheese, the mushrooms, the onion, all that stuff, all thrown into one, and it's gonna be nasty, and it's gonna be all over the damn space shuttle, and it's gonna fill the shuttle with the scent of, whatever place that we got it from. So yeah, for me, it's gonna be a Philly cheesesteak, and then I don't know what do you drink on a spacecraft, because you can't freeze dry your drink, right? So, what do you drink?
Urine.
Converted urine.
Repurposed
Dry
urine.
your drink. You just gotta add water to it to then unfreeze dry it.
Well, okay, if we're freeze drying drinks, then I'm gonna have to freeze dry a nice beer, like a nice Heineken, and I'll have that. So yeah, Philly cheesesteak and a Heineken, and I'm good.
Awesome. Lorenzo?
I don't know enough about freeze dry to pick something to freeze dry. I'm pretty sure that you can't freeze dry a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. I mean, I'm not an expert on the whole matter of freeze drying things, but I was looking it up, how it works and stuff, and it doesn't sound like it's gonna work in that type of scenario. Things you can freeze dry are instant coffee. You can freeze dry ice cream. Relatively simple things. You can freeze dry apples, but I don't think you can freeze dry.
Maybe we can freeze dry the individual ingredients, and then when I bring them all back together, I can make the Philly cheesesteak on the space station. There you go.
I don't think you can freeze dry bread.
All right, Lorenzo. Then pick your extremely realistic food that you would freeze dry.
I think I gotta go with MRIs. I don't know if those work in space.
MREs.
MREs, yeah.
I don't know if those work in space, but I remember my mom used to be in the military, and she would bring home. She'd go on those war game things, and she'd come home with those MREs, and she always brought back peanut butter and jelly. I think you can freeze dry peanut butter and jelly. I'm gonna go with peanut butter and jelly.
All right, Joe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the fantasy route here. I don't care whether it really works or not. I'm going. I want some teriyaki chicken and shrimp with some rice. That's what I want. And I'm gonna freeze dry that, and I'm bringing it now. Maybe in powder form. I don't care as long as it tastes like it. I'm good to go.
I'm pretty sure if you can get it as a ramen noodle couple noodles. I'm pretty sure you can freeze dry it.
There you go. We'll get the dollar ramen. I'll bring a whole box up there. Stop at the bodega before I go. I gotta make a quick stop at the bodega before I jump on the spaceship.
You bring the bodega cat with you.
I'm going to space, bitches. I'll be right back. I gotta stop at the bodega and get me some ramen noodle teriyaki flavor. I'll be right back. Hold the ship for me.
Just gonna walk into NASA and try this ramen for me. Please grab these ramen noodles for me real quick before we go.
And they better say they could do it. There are a bunch of freaking geniuses in there. So, dude, figure out a way to freeze dry this shit, and I'm taking it with me to space.
Bottom line, I ain't drilling through this asteroid without my damn ramen noodles.
Not happening. Philly cheesesteak, Malik.
What's that?
Don't back down now. Your Philly cheesesteak. You're like,
I'm
scientists. Figure this out. You're gonna drop like a Philly cheesesteak, all melted and hot.
I am totally like Lorenzo. That's on my list. Like, cause I might not come back, and that's my whole reality here.
No, I'm with you.
I may not come back, and so if the chances that I'm not coming back, I'm going last meal on this situation. Give me a Philly cheesesteak and a Heineken. Put it somewhere. Make it really, really easy for me to get to. Freeze dry that crap, and when I want it to come back, I want it to pop open like I want it to pop. I don't even like Joe said it. Joe was like, it's okay for it to come in powder form, just as long as it tastes like it. No. I want you guys to figure out a way so that you freeze dry it, and then when I add water to it, like it magically turns into exactly what it is that I want. Because I want to sit there and enjoy the hell out of it.
Malik, that would be hilarious. Could you imagine? They're like, okay, sir, Mr. Malik, we need you to, do this voyage. You might not come back, but you're gonna save all humanity. Will you do this for us? And you're like, absolutely. As long as you can figure out a way that I can eat my Philly cheesesteak out in space. Could you imagine the look that you would get from the scientists? The look that they would give the scientists, because now all of the fate of humanity depends on these scientists figuring out how to freeze dry a cheesesteak sandwich that can then be reconstituted into like a beautiful sandwich again.
I think
that's a lot of pressure on them poor scientists.
I think that'd be an interesting sci-fi movie.
I think they should be able to use the technology from Back to the Future too. Remember when they have those little tiny pizzas, and then they put it into the oven, and then it comes out a whole 12-inch pizza? I think you can use that technology. It just hydrate it again. It'll be fine. It'll be good to go.
There. It's available. I'm sure it's available. I'm sure you got it. Just call Obama and tell him that it's there. I know he's got it. I'm gonna have the Obama seal of approval on my request of all things that I require before I get on this shuttle. And yes, Lorenzo, you are right. One of the first things on that list will be Philly cheesesteak and a Heineken.
Get Uncle Neil on it.
I might need more than one Heineken. I might need one for the flight up, and then one while I'm up there. And Uncle Neil can figure this out. Uncle Neil, you can figure this out.
Uncle Neil is on it.
Uncle Neil can figure this out for me.
So I think I'm gonna go the realistic route. I want to freeze dry some figs. From although my friend Savita, hi Savita, this is a reason for you to listen. Her fig tree just died, but my friend Lay's fig trees are still alive. Hi Lay, I want figs. So I want like real figs, freeze dried. If we could freeze dry some ricotta cheese to stuff the figs with, that would be kind of lovely. And to drink, I would probably like a Belgian beer or a honey wine. I think that would go really well with the figs. And that would be a nice last meal. Wait, I might come back. I shouldn't call that a last meal.
Yes, it's too difficult, Johanna. Your drinks, you and Malik's drinks are too difficult. You want to bring beer, you want to bring beer. Yeah, I'll make this real easy. I'm bringing Kool-Aid. I can mix it in space.
You can mix it in space. Kool-Aid is like the ultimate space drink.
I'm bringing Kool-Aid, man. I'm bringing like 5 or 6 packets at least. That'll last me like a few months, a few weeks at least.
Joe, I'm actually thinking from an enterprising perspective here. If I can get a picture, if I can get a selfie of me drinking a Heineken in space, I'm gonna be the king of Holland when I get back to this place.
Of
Okay?
Holland.
Like they will anoint me, okay, and I will be rich beyond my wildest dreams. And
King of Holland.
Heineken stock will go through the freaking roof, because you know those Heineken commercials with guys and they're dancing with all of the girls and
Yeah.
yeah, it was like that crazy Super Bowl commercial. Yeah, just imagine the Super Bowl commercial of astronaut in space drinking a shrinking Heineken. Done deal. I'm paid for life, okay?
I don't see how that's not possible right now. Why they can't bring a Heineken bottle into outer space and just drink it up there? I'm sure it's possible.
Yeah, see, Coke and Pepsi, they got too many sponsors. I don't think Heineken has the black guy sponsor. But yeah, they'd make me king of Holland or wherever it's from. It's from the Netherlands.
I don't even think it's from Holland.
You
don't think it's from? I thought it was like German or something, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not German.
Is that German?
I think it's the Netherlands. Whatever. Well, that whole region is gonna love me. So we're gonna just go with them. I'll be able to walk in the red light district whenever I want. Everything's free.
And go to a coffee shop.
That's my goal.
It is Dutch. It is a Dutch beer. All right, so I think our final question is going to be aliens. If you could meet an alien on this space journey with your Figs or your Philly cheesesteak and Han Solo, what aliens would you meet? This is like a free-for-all. It doesn't have to be realistic or time-dependent, anything. Lorenzo.
I'm reading about a space shuttle experiment that tackled beer in space. So NASA actually has a page on their official website where they discuss in all seriousness what it's like when you take beer into space. So I'm going to pass and I'm going to read this. You guys go ahead.
And please edify us after you finish the article.
I will. It's pretty interesting.
All right, Joe.
All right, so I definitely would like to meet Yoda, so he could pass down his knowledge to me and teach me the ways of the Jedi. 'Cause I would love to become a Jedi. But on a second note, I really want to meet that girl from Total Recall with the 3 boobs. Right? So,
thumbs up, Joe.
that's who I really want to meet. I want to meet Yoda and use my Jedi mind tricks on her, right? So that's what I want to do. Those are the 2 people I want to meet.
I'm shutting down Instagram with those pictures. Shutting it down. We're over.
That's one. So I guess. What were you gonna say, Yana?
Oh no! Continue.
Oh no, I'm done. Those are the 2 people I want to meet. I want to meet Yoda. Teach me the ways of the Jedi. I use my Jedi mind trick on the girl with the 3 boobs from Total Recall. Right. So that's what I want to do.
Malik, are you also choosing the 3 boob chick?
I wanted to, but now Joe picked her. So. Unlike Drew Barrymore, she's a one woman. She's definitely going to be a one woman person, one man woman. Joe can have her. Lorenzo and I will have to fight over Drew. But so honestly, it would be 2. I'm kind of stuck on 2. First and foremost, Jabba the Hutt. Gotta meet Jabba. I gotta meet Jabba the Hutt. Okay, he is the fattest, ugliest, slowest thing in the entire galaxy, but this guy was capable of becoming a gangster, like the top gangster in space. Okay, so screw 50 Cent, screw Jay-Z. I want to meet Jabba the Hutt. Okay, because that dude is the gangster of all gangsters in space. So I got to meet him, figure out how he was able to get, because he's not scaring me in any way, shape, or form, but he's able to command he's gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun in space. And then the last group of people I gotta see, because unfortunately I was not blessed with a lot of height. So I'd love to dunk on an Ewok. You know, Ewoks are very, very small. They're very, very short. You know, they seem to be very resourceful. But I think that if like, I can get to play some basketball with an Ewok and catch a nice dunk, that would be good for me. So I want to hang out with Jabba and you know, figure out how to control the galaxy and basically run things. And yeah, and then I want to dunk on an Ewok, and then I think I'll be okay.
That sounds like a wonderful itinerary for interspatial relations. I'm gonna go with Spock. I'm stealing my husband's. When I asked my husband this question last night, he said Spock. So I think I'd like to meet Spock. I think he would be an interesting person to chat with. And really, I'm saying Spock because I came up with this question and I didn't really think about it. So maybe I'd meet a Cylon for Battlestar Galactica. That might be a good choice. One of the nice ones that won't kill me for being human.
One of the nice Cylons. I didn't know nice and Cylon went in the same.
There are some nice Cylons. There's some nice. They're not all bad.
I counted one nice Cylon in my movie, in my Battlestar Galactica experience.
Wait till you meet the Final Five.
You see me, Final
You're making fun of me. I'm just saying. Wait till you meet the Final Five.
Five.
Have you finished reading your article, Lorenzo? Do you want to share, or perhaps?
It's really confusing. I can't read this together every time.
But
there's all kinds of crazy experiments out in space. There's microbes. What I do know is that the problem with bubbles is that since they don't float up, they just cause like a bubbly mess. So that makes the fizzy drinks kind of complicated. I don't know. I'll look more into it, guys, and get back to you on that one. Her name isn't Supergirl. Her name is Power Girl. That's right. Power Girl. I really like her favorite thing that she does. She is from Krypton, so she's an alien. That green chick that Kirk gets down with, I always thought that she was hot.
In Star Wars?
Say what you will about old school Captain Kirk. He had a lot of really hot girls. I don't know. There's just something about those girls from like the 60s or whatever, the way they had their hair and the way they did their skirts. And the green girl, I think she was really hot. I don't know if you guys remember what she looked like.
Yes, actually, that was played by Yvonne Craig. She was actually Batgirl in the Batman series as well.
Really?
Yes.
No wonder I like her so much.
She was Barbara Gordon.
Wow, yeah, I always thought Barbara Gordon was super. She's not an alien. Now we're totally getting off. So now it's like,
oh wow, she's
by
pretty.
saying, by choosing the green alien from Star Trek, I'm actually getting Batgirl from Batman. That's awesome. Yeah, so that's definitely one of my choices. I'm a huge Silver Surfer fan, so like I would like to be able to kick it with Silver Surfer. I don't know if I would want to be turned into Silver Surfer, which was what would happen if you met up with
Galacticus.
Galacticus. Right. So I don't, because from what I can tell, Silver Surfer doesn't have any junk. I don't know. Does he have junk, Joe?
I have no idea. You're asking the wrong guy.
It doesn't seem like he does. I mean, I guess he's a Silver Surfer. He could just he can make himself junk whenever he wants it. So, I don't know. It would be kind of cool to be the Silver Surfer. I don't really care that much about people, so I wouldn't really be that worried about all those planets that I would be feeding to Galactus. That would be kind of cool. But if I was going to meet aliens that would give me powers, I think I would lean towards the Watchers, because they could make me into a Green Lantern, and Green Lantern is like one of the funnest jobs that there is. Those are my choices.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to hearing updates on this beer experiment, Lorenzo. That might even
see, the thing is, they were actually trying to ferment beer in space, so they were taking it like a step further.
Space beer. Oh yeah, it's awesome.
It really is.
That's
Microbreweries in space, huh?
But the problem, so yeah, the problem with carbonation, which I'm pretty sure is all beer is carbonated. Yeah, the problem is that the bubbles don't go up; they just are distributed randomly throughout the fluid, which just will make the beer all foamy, and you won't be able to enjoy it.
I also got to know what the whole avatar hair sex thing it would feel like. So I think I want to meet an
But
avatar.
you have no hair. I don't
I
know
was
if
thinking about that.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. But he went into the didn't he was an avatar. He was a real person, so you can kind of like put me in the whole avatar thing, and then my avatar would have hair. Um, and then but
That's
and then
John Malkovich sex.
well, I just want to know what that feels like.
Oh,
I just need to know what that feels like. And although she'd likely kill me, I also would love to get it on with Syl from Species. Oh yeah, man, yeah, she's gonna kill me. I already know I already know it's coming. So okay,
From who? From where? From what?
Species. Remember?
oh yeah.
Oh God, yes, you're gonna die.
Oh no, yeah, I'm fully aware of this, Joe. It's,
Sacrifices have to be made.
exactly.
It's
And
gonna be a bad death too. It's not gonna be,
it
quick.
definitely, Joe, it definitely will. But as long as Matt Kowalski is talking to me while it's going on,
Yeah.
fine. And Uncle Neil will tell my story.
Make sure you have your Philly cheesesteak before.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my last meal. I'm definitely not making it back from space. That's just not happening.
All right, you guys. Well, this has been fun, but I think we need to close out our show for tonight.
Is Sega getting bumped again?
I think so. I think so. Joe?
Yeah, we're already at 12:15 a.m.
Yeah. So I think
I
we're
will say though, real quickly, that Coca-Cola actually devised a device for drinking carbonated things in space. So I'm pretty sure if you go between Coca-Cola and Heineken, Malik, you can have your beer in space.
Haha.
All
Now
of this
we
from
just need to
NASA,
work
by
on
the way. All of this from NASA.gov.
NASA's very concerned about people drinking beer in space. I approve of this.
I ain't driving the ship.
Completely. Yeah.
Hey, listen,
no,
if you're
no.
gonna be up in a space station for like months at a time, you should be able to enjoy a beer.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be much to do. I'm gonna miss out on my shows. I might as well play some strip poker or something.
With Syl.
Yeah,
Before she kills you.
yeah, we ain't making it back. It's okay. It's okay. Life is gonna be good, man. Life's gonna be good. Those last few moments are gonna be awesome.
Alrighty, so I think maybe we'll have some information about this beer stuff on the website. And we are going to talk about Saga at some point next week, which will give some of us more time to deep dive, to delve in. But I think for now we're going to sign off. So that's me, Johanna, and at the end of the show you'll get all of our social media information. So I'm Johanna. This has been Joe, Malik, and Lorenzo, and let's say goodbye and sign off.
Later.
Adios. I wish I could say it in Klingon so I could really say goodbye in Klingon. There you go.
Very insulting to Klingons, what you just did there.
It's super offensive.
Live long and prosper. There you go. That one will work, definitely. Spock spoke English.
Nanu Nanu.
Alrighty then. Bye.